Hey guys, it's Amber. So today we're going to do our project palette look for the month. So this month I chose the Kat Von D Mi Vida Loca palette, and this has tons of bright colors. So today I decided to play in the pinky plummy category, and I had a lot of fun creating this look. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll go ahead and get started. So first I'm going to just do eye primer. I'm going to do eyes first, which is not something I normally do. But because I'm using some of these brighter colors, and when I've played around with them before, Kat Von D does have a little bit of that powderyness, which is good because it makes them blendable and pigmented, but I don't want to deal with the fallout. So I am just going to go and do eyes first, so you guys will just have to deal with my crappy looking skin. Okay, first I'm going to go into the shade right here called Molder. It's just basically a cream colored matte shade. The most important thing here it's just that's matte, and I want something that's kind of close to my skin tone. Obviously this has a little bit of yellow in it, but that's okay because we're going to just be layering it over it, and this is just going to make a nice base. And whenever I do my eye makeup kind of intense and I don't have brows or foundation on, it looks really ridiculous. So I wanted to post this video before the end of the month, but I don't think I will, so this is probably going to go up the beginning of April. Yes. And you know, I just got so behind with everything with my mom, so forgive me, but I'm trying to catch up, so we're getting there. The very first thing I'm going to do is just go into the shade called Noble right there. I'm just looking for a matte light brown, and I am going to use the same brush. I just kind of dusted it off, and I'm just basically making the little light transition shade right up here just to kind of blow that out into where my brow bone would be. I really hate doing my makeup this way just because I hate looking at my eyes done and my face undone. Yeah, it's not my favorite. Let's keep our fingers crossed that little miss will stay asleep while this is happening, or else she might be joining us in a minute or two. Okay, so I'm gonna go into this first color called Destroyer. It's like one of those really intimidating colors that you'd be like, how the crap would I ever wear that on my eye? But we are going to do it. And it might not be wearable for everybody, but you know what? I can rock it for the day, right? It's Sunday. My brother's coming over for dinner. Yeah, we'll just go with it. So I'm tapping this off just a little bit, and I'm just going to kind of go right underneath where that brown was. And I'm just using a fluffy type blending brush. This one happens to be from Sedona Lace, as a lot of my brushes are. This is like the travel size version. This is an EB13. And I'm not affiliated them in any way, just using the brush. This pink is not going to look very good with the pink in my skin, but it will be popping in a minute. So I'm just building this up slowly so I don't get it too crazy intense. Because with eyeshadow, you can always blend and add gently, but if I go in there with full forces, it's going to be a little harder to tame down. I used to wear pink eyeshadow all the time, so I'm kind of undecided. This was the palette I was using for all of March, but I kind of want to do another look with it. I kind of want to do a look that has more like greens and stuff, so let me know. Would you guys rather me move on to another palette? And if so, of the palettes I have, which palette would you like to see? Or, I already did the Modern Renaissance this year. Or would you rather I do another look with this? I've got Chocolate Bar, Too Faced Bonbons. I've got all the Nakeds, which, I mean, obviously Naked One I'm doing my project pan on. I could do a look with that. I also have Smashbox. Yeah, I've got a lot. So tell me, if you guys follow my channel and you know what I have, what would you guys like to see? I mean, I know everyone boasts like, oh, it's so pigmented, it's so pigmented. And you want your shadows to be pigmented, definitely. But you also want them to be blendable and be able to be sheared out pretty too. Because when I swatch this, I mean, I don't want it that strong right on my eyelid right there. It would be a little much for me. Alrighty, so I'm going to go into this color called Swoon, which is just a little more hot pink than coral. And I'm going to get a more tapered blending brush. You definitely can use one that's the same size or the same brush. I just find when I go in with a little bit smaller brush that it makes it a little bit easier for me not to cover up everything I just did. So this is a little more hot pink, and we're gonna go a little more pointed into the crease and a little bit more bold. This is also from Sit on Lace. This is an EB15. I like the shape of it. I'm sure you can find something similar wherever you like to get your brushes though. It's just the pointed tip that makes it kind of fun. Also, I like the pointed tip when you have hooded eyes because I feel like I can kind of feel where that socket is. Kind of jam it right in there. And then I will just touch up my peach on the outer corner. Alrighty, next I'm going into color right here, which is called Rewind, and I'm going to use that in the more outer V. When you have hooded eyes, it's kind of hard to identify your outer V. Basically, just more on the outside of my eye. Kind of straight out here, like if you imagined where the top of your hood is, kind of coming out where your hood would kind of hang over, I'm going to be putting it there. And I just wiped off my more pointed brush, and I'm going to use it right here. And that way it's just not like blazing pink on my eye. But I'm not bringing it all the way over and in. When I like to add my dark on the outer corners, I usually do a little bit on each eye, switch around, and just kind of work it until it gets to be the intensity that I'm looking for. I find when I don't have anything dark there on the outer corners, when I've got brights, that my eyes tend to lose a little bit of shape and dimension. But when I keep that dark there, it kind of helps allude to the fact that I have more of a crease than I actually do. And I feel like that's helpful for my eye shape. I'm going to take a bigger fluffy brush again with that first shade Molder and just kind of use it as an eraser to clean up the edges and in the inside corner, because I don't like it when it gets too far in here or too far up. I like to get that brow bone. I feel like when I take my eyeshadow too far up, it's like you lose that contrast. Like I want the brow bone to stick out and then the dark to make my eye come in and then my eyes to open so that it's creating that depth of a crease. Where if I bring my eyeshadow too far up, then I'm losing that depth between my crease and my brow. And I really enjoy that. So this kind of acts as a blender eraser and helps it there. Alrighty, so on the lid I'm going to go in this color called Love. This is kind of a nice, it's a cool pink, and I think it'll go really nicely on the lid and complement these colors really well. You could go with something more golden, you could go with something more white. It just depends how drastic you want that to stand out. And I am going to wet my brush with a little bit of my, if I can find it. Well, I can't find my Smashbox, so I'm going to use my Makeup Mist and Set from e.l.f. That will work. And I'm just going to wet my brush so I can kind of cut that crease out a little bit more. I mean, not really heavy, but just kind of define it. See, once that color is wet, it makes it so pretty. I'm going to take a little bit of this white shade, which is called Skulls, and I'm going to pop it in the center of my lid and a little bit in the inner corner. And we're going to have a little bit of fun on the lower lash line, but I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my foundation on first, and then we will come back to having a little more fun with that. So get my brows filled in. This is the Anastasia Brow Pomade. So what have you guys been up to? Is it spring where you live yet? It has been starting to become a little bit of spring here. We have been doing a big outdoor backyard project. It's been so fun. Well, it was a lot of work actually. We dug out like all of our, in the very back, if you've ever seen any of my fashion videos that I filmed in the backyard, we have this like fence with all these, it's like a trumpet vine that grows on it, which is really beautiful, but it attracts a lot of bees, and for my kids, they don't necessarily like having so many bees. So we've cut it back so it would be a little higher and it wouldn't be hanging down where the kids are, because, you know, it's important for there to be bees and hummingbirds and those kind of things. I just don't want them right down in my kids' area. And I know you say, oh, but bees won't bother you, they don't sting you. Well, my son did get stung by a bee actually in front of his school. We were like just standing there. I was holding his hand. He wasn't doing anything. And then all of a sudden he was like, ow, and he slapped his ear, and there was a bee that had stung him. And it was a bee because I pulled out the wasp out of his, behind his ear of all places. And so I don't know why the bee stung him. He obviously wasn't in the bee's way, but it happened. So because of that, he's a little scared when it comes to bees. Anyway, but there was a big part behind our garage. This is the Mary Kay primer that was mostly overgrown. Like there was just so many branches that it was an unusable space. For those of you guys who have followed me, you know, for the last 3 years, I went to camp with my husband. He worked at a youth camp. He was the director. Now he's been promoted, so he's a director over 6 other guys. So his position is not to go and be the director anymore. He's just managing other people. So we will not be doing that this year. And so it was like, okay, this is the perfect time to take advantage of actually using our backyard. So I'm using for my face, this is the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation in Porcelain. I find this is the best match for me at the moment. This is a Beauty Blender dupe. Well, I won't say dupe. It's not the same as a Beauty Blender. It's the same shape as a Beauty Blender. This I got from Shop Missy. It's a little harder than the Beauty Blender. It's not as soft, but it's gonna work for today. I need to clean all my brushes and my Beauty Blender so bad. So back there, my husband made a fire pit, and he made it like permanent without like bricks and stuff. So it's so nice. So we can go back there and we can have a little campfire. It's just so nice. My kids just love that. Especially since all summer, you know, we were around campfire so much that they got used to that, and so they love going out there. You know, we can roast marshmallows or whatever. It's a great kind of reflection spot too. Like if you're just having a rough day, like I don't know if you guys ever go camping, but it's like there's a lot of like peace that comes, I think, from watching fire. I don't know what it is all about, but it just makes me feel so relaxed, and it's kind of like mesmerizing. I don't know. Under my eyes, I'm going to set with this Wet n Wild a little on my nose. Just a tad lighter. And then everywhere else, I'm going to use my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. I've been liking a less harsh contour recently, so I'm going to use this brush from e.l.f. It's the e.l.f. blending brush, and I'm going to go back into this contour palette and just warm up my face a little. See, now the eyes don't look like so incredibly out of place. Let's see, for blush, let's go natural. I'm going to do the Fiji color blush from this e.l.f. duo. And they've got so much pink on the eyes. I don't want the blush to be an overwhelming shade. I don't want to be like pink, pink, pink. Although I usually am anyway. And let's see, highlight. I get out some of my High Beam from Benefit. Try to use this up. And even though it's a cream, I find that it doesn't affect if I put it over my powder. It just kind of blends right in. So for some people, you might want to powder after. Let me get a blending brush. I just need to do a little bit of blending here. And then we are going to pop some color on my lower lash line. Get a pencil brush. And I'm going to go in with this color called Echo. It's kind of a blue purpley color. It's got a little shimmer on it. And I'm going to put that under the lash line. Of course, putting color down here is a little more dramatic. It's not going to be for everybody. But it's something I haven't done in a while, so I figured, why not? I'm going to take my now newly sharpened Rimmel Scandalized liner, and I'm going to put that in my waterline. And I will touch up right next to my lash line with a little bit of black, because I don't like how this gets on my lashes and makes them a little whitish looking, I guess. But there's a really good matte black in here. I'm just gonna like go in at the lash line, and that way it doesn't cover up my purple. but it doesn't cover up the light either. Just like right in the lash. I'm just doing on the outer part of my eye. Okay, so I will go ahead and line my eyes with a little more of this black metal on the top, just very carefully. I'm just going for a soft smoky liner, not anything too drastic. If I don't get any liner on the top, then it's gonna look a little bottom heavy, and if you have droopy eyes, you probably should go with a lighter shade, because having too much dark under there can make your eyes appear a little more droopy. But you know, it's always fun to break the rules a little bit. Alright, I'm done with the eyes. I had to fix my bangs because they went all crazy on me. But I got my mascara on. I always like to put a lot of bottom eye mascara on when I've got a lot of under eye color on, because I feel like it kind of balances everything. Now I'm going to line my lips with my Jordana Baby Berry Lip Liner. And I haven't chosen a lip color, so I don't want anything too pink. But I know I want a little bit of a lip. Decisions. I'm going to go with my e.l.f. Matte Lip Color Natural. I haven't used this in a while. It's a great neutral shade. Kind of a good everyday neutral shade. Let the eyes be the star of the show. Add a little bit of this plumping gloss. Just give it some moisture and some shine. Alrighty, I hope you guys enjoyed this get ready with me. I feel like I look so different with my super blonde hair. I'm still trying to get used to it, but I hope you guys like it. And let me know what palette you guys would like to see next. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!